So this is just a short video explaining the arteries and veins of the lower limbs. But to understand where they originate and lead down to the limbs, I've included a really basic overview of how the vasculature comes to be, starting from the heart. So we've got the aortic arch just here, which arises from the left ventricle, and it goes behind the heart through the thoracic cavity as the thoracic aorta. It then crosses the diaphragm at T12, it enters the abdominal cavity to become the abdominal aorta, then bifurcating to become the right and left common iliac arteries. You can then see an artery coming off it, that is the internal iliac. That goes on to circulate in the pelvic region. The external iliac, this one just here, then carries on down until it splits, and you can see the deep femoral just there. Now that deep femoral has some circumflex arteries coming off just here. You've got your medial circumflex and your lateral circumflex going down. But if we go back to the femoral just here, you can carry on down and you can see it splits into two again, and the artery that goes behind the knee is the popliteal, and then you've got your genicular, descending genicular just here, and that goes around, is like the cage-like structure that goes around the knee. Then if we go back to the popliteal, and if we take a look at the posterior tibial just here, now that goes down again behind the calf now just here, and it becomes the fibula just there. And if you carry on down, it then becomes the medial and lateral plantar. So you've got your medial artery just there and your lateral on the other side just here. Your medial is the artery closest to the inside of your foot, and the plantar means closest to the ground, so it's the arteries towards the bottom of your foot. Now they lead into the plantar arch, so it's a circular artery going around here, and off the plantar arch there are some arteries, the plantar metatarsals just here, which branch into even smaller arteries that go into your toes, called the plantar digital just there. Now if we go back to the anterior tibial, that was this artery just here and here coming around the front of your leg, then we can see that splits, or it becomes the dorsalis pedis just there, and then it has another kind of circular artery, the arcutate just here, that comes round. Now that then becomes some arteries that come off the arcutate are the dorsal metatarsal just here, which lead into the dorsal digital arteries that again that provide circulation for the toes. So we've reached the end just here. Now let's think about going back up. So with the veins, so as I was just saying, the plantar digital, so those are the ones closest to the bottom, and those are the inner circle just there. So let's see them here, and they lead into the plantar metatarsal just here. And then you've got your plantar venous arch, this one just there, so the circular vein, which then leads into your medial and lateral plantar, so the ones either side just there and there. And they lead into a few actually veins. So we've got on the inside of your leg, we have the great saphenous. So that's actually this vein just here, comes all the way up, is the great saphenous. Then we've also got your anterior tibial vein just here, and your small saphenous, so on the edge of your leg, this one just here. So if we go back and have a look at the dorsal digital, so those are the veins again. So remember, the difference between the dorsal and the plantar would be that the dorsal are the veins on top. So you've got dorsal digital ones just here, leading into your dorsal metatarsals and your dorsal venous arch, again the circular looking vein, which leads into your fibula. Now your fibula vein is this one just here. The fibula vein, it's also, the dorsal venous arch also leads into the great saphenous. So remember, the great saphenous is the long vein that goes around the inside just there. And then don't forget your small saphenous that you've got on the edge of your leg just here. Now if we're looking further up, we look at the posterior tibial. So you've got your posterior tibial just here, and that leads up into your popliteal. So the popliteal, remember, the one going back behind your knee. Then if we go further up, that joins to become your femoral vein just here, which your great saphenous joins in at the top just there. Now you can also see a deep femoral vein just here, and let's see, and here as well. And you've got a circumflex, so a round circumflex coming off your femoral as well, just there and here. If we go further up, your femoral becomes your external iliac, this one just here. You can also see your internal iliac, that's this one just there. Now they join to become your common iliac just here. And they then join again to become your inferior vena cava just here. And the inferior vena cava leads up into your right atrium here. And we've reached the heart again. So that was a brief overview of the arteries and veins of the lower limb and the rest of the system. I hope I haven't confused you too much. Okay, questions?